majority of the tenants are BPO, and it shows you stability, it shows you predictability, and it shows you that that over the next few years, the BPO companies that are renting in them are there to stay. The buildings that they are including as part of the REIT are inside their township projects. And I think that's one of the strengths of Megaworld also, is that they're really, really good in building townships, surrounding those offices with residential condos, with hotels, with schools. It's near some hospitals. Then you have some groceries, supermarkets, restaurants, malls, movie centers, etc. Hey guys, so it looks like we have another REIT that's coming out. As you all know, a REIT listed last year, then we had the MPR list at the start of the year. Then we talked about in this channel about the Robinsons REIT that's also coming out. Then we also have a Philinvest REIT that's coming out. I think this is the year of the REIT, and a lot of companies have seen value in it. Please do note that every time companies list their REITs, they're getting cash, which they can use to expand their company. And as you all know, majority of the earnings of these real estate companies are basically in property development, meaning they make more when they get raw land, develop it into a township, and that's where the value of that particular place is unlocked. But REITs give us the ability to have exposure in the properties that they own, and in turn, we get capital appreciation and cash flow. And this is something that's very, very interesting, because I mentioned this in the Philinvest video that I was in the Alabang area when I was still single, but for over a decade of my life now, I've been living in the Taguig area. And Megaworld is something that's very, very interesting, because I've seen them also grow massively over the past 10 years. That being said, let's give you a primer and some basics on the Megaworld REIT. Number one, this will be one of the largest REIT offerings in the country, as Megaworld plans to raise 27.3 billion pesos, as it would list 10 of its buildings as part of this REIT. They plan to sell 1.239 billion secondary shares at a maximum price of 22 pesos per share. So please do note that this will change still, as what we've seen over the past listings that we've seen in the Philippine Stock Exchange. The final listing price is lower from the maximum price that's normally disclosed. It's very interesting because the assets that they will put into this listing is quite large. From the 10 properties that they will list, it's valued around 55.6 billion pesos. And the size of what they are offering will be around 27.3 billion, including over allotment. So at the end of it all, including over allotment, this will give Megaworld around 51% ownership of the REIT. Then 49% will be available to the public. So what's interesting about this is the exposure of the REIT will be in McKinley Hill, which is in Taguig, which is, in my opinion, everything near the Bonifacio Global City is in the heart of Progress. Then some of the buildings will be in Eastwood. And Eastwood is nice. I was first year college when we would all go to Eastwood because it was one of the up and coming areas at that particular point in time. But Eastwood showed us that townships work, that it's nice to live in a live where you work type of environment. Then they're also including their Iloilo project, and I've seen it very, very well, that the Megaworld developments Iloilo is amazing. And in my opinion, outside Metro Manila, Iloilo has been one of the better cities that have been master planned well. Now, if you add that all together, the 10 buildings that will be included in the REIT, there will be around 224,430 square meters, which is a combination of offices, retail spaces, and hotels as well. Here's a list of the buildings that will be included. 1,800 Eastwood Avenue, 1,880 Eastwood Avenue, E-commerce Plaza, 1 World Square, 2 World Square, 3 World Square. And just to note, when I was still employed, one of the first companies that went into 2 World Square was Hewlett-Packard, which was my company more than a decade ago before I quit my job. So we were in 2 World Square, and I think also 3 World Square at that time. 810 Upper McKinley, 1820 Upper McKinley, 1 Techno Place, and Richmond Tower, which houses Richmond Hotel in Iloilo. So I've seen Richmond Hotel in Iloilo. It's very, very nice. And they were one of the first hotels there in that central business district. So for those who have not been to Iloilo yet, there's a very, very amazing township that Megaworld is building, which used to be the former airport of Iloilo. And they just built it into something that's very, very nice. So it feels like you're in McKinley Hill, but you're in Iloilo. That's how nice they've built that particular area. So what I like about this listing is almost the same as what I like about a REIT, and what I like about Philinvest is majority of the tenants are BPO. And it shows you stability, it shows you predictability, and it shows you that you know that over the next few years, the BPO companies that are renting in them are there to stay. The buildings that they are including as part of the REIT are inside their township projects. And I think that's one of the strengths of Megaworld also, is that they're really, really good in building townships, surrounding those offices with residential condos, with hotels, with schools. It's near some hospitals. Then you have some groceries, supermarkets, restaurants, malls, movie centers, etc. And they've been very clear in their disclosure that it's purely BPO, no POGOs. The reason why I loved a REIT was its exposure to the BPO industry. Now, this is something that's worth noting. They have currently 10 buildings that will be included in the initial listing of the REIT. But over the next few years, they will be adding 4 more buildings as part of the REIT, which is good because it will add more assets into the REIT, and in turn, it will add more rental revenue in the REIT. And as it adds more rental revenue in the REIT, it will give you a higher amount of dividends, which is what we're actually seeing also for a REIT right now. So there's a lot of similarities in them, which for those of you who are like me, who love dividends, who love passive income, I think this is a very, very good start already, just looking at the disclosures that we have right now. So please remember also, just for full context, Megaworld has around 70 buildings, which is around 1.4 million square meters. So they have a lot still that they could actually put should they want to add more to this particular REIT. Megaworld continues to build buildings, and they're doing it at a rate of 100,000 square meters per year. So ranking all of the REITs that have been listed, no, A REIT was around 15.1 billion pesos. The DMPR, which was around 14.7 billion pesos. Then the RLC REIT, which is around 26.7 billion. Then you have the Philinvest REIT, which is around 14.9 billion pesos. So this places Megaworld as the largest. Should they be able to raise it at the maximum amount at 22 pesos, will give them around 27.3 billion pesos in terms of money that will be raised. So assuming that they give it at a maximum of 22 pesos, the dividend yield would be around 4.1%. But if it goes lower, say 20 pesos per share, then you have around 4.6% in terms of its dividend yield. So if the listing price is below 20 pesos, then most likely for 2022, you could have a dividend yield above the 5% mark. Again, the technique for investing in REITs, and if you're in it for dividends, is stack to accumulate at the lowest possible price possible. Be sensitive about the dividend yield that you could actually get. So that would be my strategy in all of this. I'd like to see what the listing price would be, and I would compute backwards on what the possible dividend yield I could actually get. If it's above 5%, I'll buy it on the get-go with cash still, that should it go lower later on, I would take advantage of that opportunity to buy. But if the dividends during the listing is below 5%, then I would wait still and see if it would actually correct. Because if it corrects, then it could possibly give me an amount that would be attractive for me from a dividend yield standpoint. That being said, I just want to mention 2 things also before I put this to a close. Number 1, the funds that they will be getting from this, they would actually use also to further expand Megaworld. What I like about them also is they have 95% occupancy, but not just that. Most of their lease contracts are between 5 to 10 years, which gives you predictability that you know that over the next 5 years, MREIT would be getting revenue. And the fact that they're 95% occupied gives you context already that at least the dividends that you would be getting is something that's very, 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 very predictable. The fact that majority of their tenants are BPOs is very, very positive for me. Looking at this right now, first glance, this is something that I'd like. This is something that from a dividend revenue standpoint, it's something that I'll participate in. But again, I'll say this over and over, never ever buy, sell, hold, or avoid this stock just because I talk about it here. This is not financial advice. It's your money. It's your responsibility. Please take the time to be able to research. Please take the time to be able to study, analyze, and do a deep dive, because at the end of the day, no one will take care of your money more than you. So please do your research. Please take the time to study it more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And when you gain the confidence, that's where you start deploying capital. Please remember that no matter how sound an investment is, only invest an amount of money that you can tolerate. Only invest an amount of money that you could withstand the volatility, because that's what matters the most. And if you're new to this channel, my name is Marvin Germo. I'm a stock market trader and investor. And if you want more of this, like, share, subscribe, and smash the bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about investing. And if you'd like to learn more on how you can trade the Philippine markets, the US markets, and the cryptocurrency markets using technical analysis, we have links down in the description below on how you can learn via the YouTube videos that I have or the Stock Smart seminar course that I am having this July, where we're going to talk about candlesticks, trend lines, support and resistances, and so much more. Or you can also learn that via the books that I have in all national bookstore branches in the Philippines or via Shopee. Links are in the description below. And for those who want to trade the Forex markets, XM has a promo. When you register with them, you have $30 for free. But not just that, when you deposit up to $500, they will match whatever amount that you put in. Meaning, if you deposit $250, they will give you another free $250 also on top of what you've deposited. So it's an easy way for you also to have an additional amount of money as you start investing. And for US stocks, check out GoTrade down below. While for cryptocurrencies, check out Binance, the largest exchange in the world. I have this hardware wallet. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna make a video for you guys also on this. This is Elipal. It's a air gap hardware wallet. And what's interesting about it is that it protects your cryptocurrencies from hackers because it's not connected to the internet. So if you want this, check it out in the description below as well. So I guess that's it for now. I hope that this is something that was insightful. I hope that this is something that gave you value as well. So this is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.